Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this insane modern mansion. If you enjoy this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button. That is the single best thing you can do to help me and the channel out. I'd really appreciate it. And that's pretty much everything. Why don't I show you how to make this thing? So before we begin, I should let you know that this build will fit into a 30 by 30 block area. 30 blocks across the front, 30 blocks towards the back. This is a nice, safe area. I would highly recommend building this sort of thing in your world just so that we can better plan things out. It isn't necessary, but I would suggest it. We will also need all of these materials that you can see in my inventory and hotbar right now. We're going to be beginning with the hotbar materials, and we will also need all of the others that you can see. Pause the video if necessary. Make sure that you got them all. Once you have, we can begin. So, if you have indeed made this 30 by 30 grid, I can tell you that we're going to be beginning the build on the very back left hand corner. So this is where we're going to start, the back left hand corner of the mansion. Begin by placing a row of 7 block of quartz coming up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You then want to go in front of that 7th block, going towards the front of the house by 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You then want to connect that 21st block all the way down to the ground, like this. You then want to go in front of that 21st block by 8 using light grey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like this. This is as far as the mansion will come out in front of the actual... This is like as far as the actual build will go. Like that's the entire like front to back. We then want to go right of this 8th block by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Place a block of quartz to the right of this and go up on top of it by 3. 1, 2, 3. Like that. You then want to grab your quartz slabs and you want to take the first block from the top, so not the top one, but this one. And you want to place a row of quartz slab going left of this block, and the row of quartz slab wants to be in line with the light grey. So if you just imagine that you want to copy the positioning of the light grey, but using quartz slab, that's exactly what you want to do. We then want to leave half a row's gap coming down. So you want to leave half a row's gap. And you want to do the exact same thing. So, yet another row of quartz slab, but half a row's gap down. You will end up with this very cool pattern like this. Now, once you have that pattern, we want to continue on. So, we want to, starting once again from this first block down in this row of 4 quartz, we want to take this first block down and we want to go right of this by 8 using quartz slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we want to go backwards from that 8th block by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Place upon that a block of quartz. You can also connect it down to the ground like this. You'll have to use a mixture of quartz slabs and block of quartz, but you guys get the idea. So, we also want to use a material that we don't have with us at the moment, but it's quartz stairs. And we want to place a row of quartz stairs going right of this first quartz block coming down, so this one attached by slabs. We want to place 3 quartz stairs going right of this block. 1, 2, 3. Then place a block of quartz on top, and connect the quartz down to the ground, like this. We also want to take this first block of quartz coming down from the top of this row, so this one right here, and we want to place 2 quartz slabs coming in front of this particular block. So that'll be 1, 2. You then want to go right by 3, so towards the right hand side of the property, 1, 2, 3, like this. We then want to move backwards by 2, 1, 2, and then we want to connect this block down to the ground using a mixture of quartz slabs and quartz blocks. If you like, you can then fill in entirely underneath this particular area using both a mixture of quartz slabs, and you'll also have to use some quartz blocks as well. Or actually, you can really pretty much just use entirely quartz slabs, but you guys get the idea. We then want to take the bottom of this, and you want to take the end 2 blocks and extend them towards you by 4 using quartz blocks. So like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect them together. Place a layer of quartz slabs on top of this. And what we've essentially made here is it's just a little bit of a planter. It's just going to have some bushes and stuff in it to make it look nice. We also want to take the bottom left hand side of this and the bottom right, and we want to do a similar thing just using slabs this time. We want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect that together like this. And just to show you how this is going to work, you might want to grab some like lime terracotta and some jungle leaves. And I'm going to dig in the grass here inside this planter. I'm going to dig it out, place lime terracotta inside, and then jungle leaves on top, just so that it looks a little extra green. For this other one here, the one just up above it, I don't have to dig anything out. I can place the lime terracotta base with the jungle leaves inside, like that. That's looking quite good. I really like that effect. I really do think that that looks quite nice. Now, once you have done that, we can move on to building the shape a bit more, although we have done quite a good job so far. So we want to return back to this right-hand side. So, you know, you're on the right-hand side of the build. I'm sure that you guys can remember where we left off. Well, we want to take this block in particular. Well, actually, it really doesn't matter. You can take like the bottom block if you want, like this bottom block right here. And you can go back by 19 using block of quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Then place 2 rows of quartz on top of this. So not only do you want the one like this, but you also want the second row of block of quartz directly on top to create a wall. And once you have placed that wall, I'm trying to find what we actually want to do next, because order is important here. Well, what we can do here is we can take this back row of 3 block of quartz, and we can actually connect it all the way to the back opposite side of the house. So if that makes sense, we basically just want to connect one side of the back to the opposite side of the back. As you can see, most of this house is actually elevated. You know, we have a pool and a garden and stuff, and we have stairs coming up. So that's why we have a base going all the way around the outer perimeters. So that's what we want to have so far. Now, if you come all the way to this corner here, this particular corner, this back left corner, you want to place upon this a blue stained glass pane. Go right by 2, 1, 2. Then place a block of quartz. Go up on top of this by 3, 1, 2, 3. Go left of this by 1. But also go right of this block until you eventually connect all the way to the back. You can even fill in these particular rows using your block of quartz. Now, I have opted to not add very much detail on the back of this house. This house has a lot of windows. I like to put in modern houses areas which are not heavily detailed to allow some interior that's nice and hidden away. But feel free to customize this particular back wall if you do so want to. Now, once you have that all taken care of, we can probably move on to this next bit. So, speaking of areas that can be filled in, this entire left-hand side can be filled in using block of quartz as well. Once again, especially with large modern houses, when they use a lot of glass, when you can pretty much see straight through them, I don't really like that. I do like to have a couple of walls that are almost blank, that have a little bit more privacy in them. But there's many ways that you can customize the outer walls, whether that be adding more glass or some more color, that I'm sure that you guys will do if you want to. But this is my house, this is what I like to have. I do like to have a couple of blank walls for interior decoration that's not see-through. Now, once you do have that taken care of, we want to come to the front of the build. And we're looking for this particular block on the front of the build. You'll find it on the left-hand side. You might be able to remember the row that we placed earlier. Now, from this block of quartz that we have right here, we want to place a row of 8 quartz slab going right of the top of this block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like that. Then extend that 8th block backwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You then want to take that 6th block, place a slab underneath it, and then 3 blocks coming down. Blocks of quartz, that is. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Now, that's important later on. We then want to place, coming backwards from this solid block of quartz that we made out of slabs, we want to come backwards by a further 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like that. You then want to go right of this 7th block, ironically, by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like that. We then want to turn this 7th block into a block of quartz by placing a block coming down, and then we want to place 3 additional block of quartz coming downwards. 1, 2, 3, just like that. But we also want to go up on top of this row, and we want to go up on top of this row by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is the row of block of quartz that we should have right now. And we actually want to take this row of block of quartz and we want to extend it towards us by 2 rows. So take the entire row, extend it towards you once, and then twice to finish things off. We then want to take the top of the row of block of quartz, and you can take the topmost outward row, and you want to go right of it by 12 using block of quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just like that. We then want to place inside of this, and this is where things get tricky from an explanation standpoint. We want to place in front of this middle row of block of quartz an entire row of dark grey concrete. Like that, in that position. Then an entire row of concrete to the right. You then want to take the top block and you want to extend it to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then place 2 orange concrete. 1, 2. Then 4 grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this. Extend the orange concrete downwards until it is equal in length to the rows of grey concrete that we have just to the left of us. You also want to extend the rows of orange concrete upwards, and they want to supersede the quartz framework by 1 row. Then extend the orange concrete backwards by an entire row. So basically just double up on things so that it looks nice and chunky. It's actually supposed to be some sort of new modern age newfangled chimney thingy. It just looks good. That's the entire point of it. Now, once you have got that sorted out, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do next is we want to add a little bit of glass in between the grey concrete and the orange. We want to place 3 rows of glass connecting the bottom coming upwards. So like 1, 2, 3. So we've got a row of 3 glass. And we want to do 2 rows on top. 1 row, 2 rows. Then we want to place a row of quartz block on top of this. And then fill in the remainder of this just up above using glass pane. Preferably blue stained glass pane, because I really do like how it looks with the orange and the grey and the white. I really like how it all goes together. We then want to take the row of 3 block of quartz that we have here and extend it 1 row towards us. Connect it to the left. And we also want to go right of this to cover up the orange concrete. But we do also want to continue extending to the right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you should find that that 5th block actually connects to the back of the build where we extended the block outwards earlier. Also, place a quartz block in this position on top of the curved row of quartz that connects to the orange concrete. So far, it might not look like we've done much, but we actually have done a nice little bit of the house right there. That's what we want to have so far. Now, once you have done this, we are actually now going to come towards the... Where do we want to go next, ladies and gentlemen? I think that it's best that we come all the way to the very back corner of the house once again. Now, we want to take the very back top left-hand corner of the house, which is, of course, this block right here, and we want to place a quartz block on top of this. And we want to go left of this quartz block by 3 using slabs. 1, 2, 3, coming across the back of the house. We then want to go up on top of this quartz slab by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then go left by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then go down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a quartz slab underneath this. Connect the quartz slab to the right, but also continue going left with your quartz slab by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Connect that 7th slab downwards, but also go up on top of it by 5 using quartz blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You then want to take that 5th block and place a row of quartz slab going right of the 5th block. So you want to take the bottom of the 5th block, extend it to the right like this to create this sort of shape. You then want to take the bottom quartz block, which is connected using quartz slabs, and we want to go left of this quartz block using quartz slabs by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like that. And you then want to go in front of this 12th block by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Connect down to the ground, and then place a row of blue stained glass pane that sits on top of this row of block of quartz that connects the front and the back of the house together. Just like that. That's wonderful. Now, once you have done that, we want to return back to the back of the house to make some more adjustments. So, if we take this row of block of quartz that we have right here, and we extend this row of block of quartz to the left, we will also be able to connect it forwards to the row of block of quartz that we had on the front of the house, like so. We also want to connect this row of block of quartz here to the back of the house, just like that. We also want to fill in the roof for this particular part of the back of the house using grey concrete like this. Take the row of grey concrete that you had at the front of the house all the way up at the top, just below the chimney and the quartz frame, and extend the grey concrete backwards until you eventually cover up the entire roof area like this. Now, if we have a look at the back, this is what we are left with. We then want to take the end row of grey concrete, which is this, and we want to extend it down by 4. 1, 2, 3, and we might have to come inside here, 4, just like that. And you want to take that 4th block at the bottom, and you want to go left of it by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And place a row of grey concrete on top. Then place a row of glass on top. I'd actually recommend perhaps glass block, just because I think it might look a bit better. And then grey concrete on top of the glass block. Which leaves us, well, let me just show you how that looks first. So that'll end up looking like this. And then that gives us the side, which is of course here. And we are just going to fill, first of all, it might benefit us to add a little bit of flooring. So if you use some like block of quartz to establish a floor, it's fairly easy to figure out where the floor goes because we have a balcony. So therefore the floor for the house sits in line with where the balcony is. Also, it sits where we have the, if you have a look from the outside, where we placed the row of block of quartz earlier with the separation between the two windows, I'm sure that you'll be able to figure out that that is also where the floor goes. So it shouldn't be too much of a mystery where the house is like cut in half. And I'm just going to fill in this particular portion in using block of quartz, just because I think it'll just make it a little bit easier to place this next part. So there we go, we now have a little bit of quartz blockage. And once you do have that all taken care of, we can now add a back entrance, or really it's a side entrance onto the balcony. So if we start off by placing a few rows of grey concrete coming towards the front of the house, extend all of the rows of grey concrete towards the front of the house, and then place some glass where the glass would go usually. Now, if we do something cool here, maybe we knock out the middle block and the ones either side of it, and we set the entrance 1 block backwards, and by that I mean like you place some grey concrete coming back like this, and maybe even we place like a row of quartz slabs like that. Maybe I think I might have, oh no, that's actually right in the middle. Something like this actually looks kind of cool. You could even further shrink it by placing perhaps some more grey concrete here, like this, to shrink the entrance, and it just looks perhaps a little bit more detailed than it would otherwise. Something like this is perfectly fine, but it's actually not what I used in the original version of this. So it really is up to you how you do want to create some sort of entrance. A 2 block gap would be equally as fine. Now, once you have done that, we're now coming to the point where we really should build up some of the front of the house as well. Okay, so if we come all the way back to where we placed this quartz block coming up from the back corner of the house. This quartz block here started off all of that, and it's going to continue us onto this next part. Extending forwards from the top of this quartz block, place a row of quartz slab that is equal in length to the row of quartz below it. You then want to extend the quartz slab to the right so it is equal in length to the quartz slab below it again. And now if we extend backwards, once again, we want to have a row of quartz slab that is equal in length to the row of quartz slab below it. And you might have guessed it, you then want to extend to the right here to connect to the right hand side of the house, and it all wants to be even. We then want to take the corner block, which is this one, and we want to place 5 blocks of quartz coming upwards from this particular block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to go left by 2. 1, 2. We then want to place 2 orange concrete. Actually, I do believe it's 3 orange concrete going left. 1, 2, 3. And extend the orange concrete upwards by 1 row. And also downwards. You want to extend it downwards until you are satisfied with like how far down it wants to go. Like, you could connect it down to the ground, but I think that like a satisfactory depth would be for it to just sit underneath where we have this quartz slab here. You also want to extend the orange concrete towards you by 1 row, and we also want to extend it backwards by 1 row as well. So towards you 1 row, and then we also want to extend it backwards by 1 row too. Like this. So now once you have that sorted out, we can move on to this next little bit. So we want to take this row, we want to take this corner block of quartz, and we want to extend it to the right using quartz slabs, and we want to extend the lower half of it. So you want to extend the lower half of it to the right using quartz slabs. Leave half a row's gap, and then extend another row of quartz slab going to the right as well. You then want to place inside of this area, so like you're inside of this area right here, you want to place a row of light grey concrete inside the right hand side and inside the left hand side as well, like that. And you want to have 2 rows of light grey concrete in the middle. So if you copy this configuration and also place some blue stained glass paint in between this, you should end up with that. And you can even place white concrete entirely underneath what you've just made, and also above it, like this, and you'll end up with, from the outside, something that looks quite good. It looks exactly like that, and I really like how that looks. It's a nice part of the house. We also want to place a row of white concrete that sits inside the 2 rows of quartz slabs. So if you place a row of white concrete that sits inside the 2 rows of quartz slabs, keep following it round. Wherever you have those 2 rows of quartz slabs that are half a row's gap away from each other, then place the white concrete. It will take you all the way to the back of the house. So just to put things into perspective, like you should have a row right at the back there, and also a row on the side, and a row on the front, and also right there, like in between everything. You also want to place a row of blue glass here and here, just in between the orange concrete and that window right there. It might even benefit you to fill in the balcony area that we have right here using some white concrete. So you might want to completely fill in this terrace area right here using white concrete, as it just makes things a little bit easier, especially when we have to fill them in anyway, because this would be a very exposed part of the house. So all of this I'm just going to fill in using white concrete, and you'll notice that this particular part of the flooring is actually 1 row higher than the floor that we have for that area that leads on to the balcony, which is another thing that I like about this house. It's not all like uniform, meaning that it's not built in a way that you might expect. It does have a lot of twists and turns, and I really like how it ends up. So maybe I'll just add there just to make that a little bit more even. That looks fine. It's just the inside for now. So far we want to have something which should look exactly like that. Now, once you do have this, we can move on to the next part. I know, there always seems as though there's a next part. So, we want to take... we want to come all the way to the back of the build. And we want to find this row of block of quartz right here. We want to take this row of block of quartz and we want to extend it forwards and connect it to the row of orange concrete that we placed a little bit earlier. Like this. And we then want to take the second row of block of quartz. So like if you imagine that this is the top row horizontally. This second row, we want to place a row of block of quartz in front of this. Extend it forwards by 2, 1, 2, and then connect down. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like that. And we might even, you know what, I might even extend it an additional row towards us, like this. And I might even add like an entrance. So like, maybe if we destroy these two block of quartz here, and then maybe if we put like a cheeky like grey concrete door here like this, then that'll allow us access onto the terrace, which would actually be kind of handy. I didn't build this into the original, but that would actually be quite handy because then you can walk around on the roof without having to access it in another way. I like that. That's a nice little sneaky part of the house. So what are we left with at the moment? So we're left with something that looks like this, right? That's not looking too bad if I do say so myself. We should probably, however, seal up the roofs on this side of the house. So if we start off by filling in the roof area here, like if you just connect this block of quartz to the front, that'd be quite good. And we'll just fill this part of the roof in, and we'll fill this in with block of quartz just to make it a nice chunky block. So just completely fill this particular area in with block of quartz, it'll look quite good. Now this area to the left, we're going to use white concrete to fill in the roof. So once again, just fill in the entire part of this particular part of the roof using white concrete. I'm kind of struggling here, I don't know why, but we just want to completely fill this in using white concrete like this. We now want to emulate so you see what we have there on the front with the grey concrete? We're going to do the same thing on the back. So if we just copy the positioning of the rows of light grey concrete from the front, we've placed it on the back now. And we'll even place the blue stained glass pane in here as well. Just simply copy what you had on the front. And we'll also want to place a row of quartz slabs in front of the white concrete as well at the top. Now, with this particular room, I don't know whether to just place an inlay of orange concrete, maybe like this, or I don't know whether to add a little bit of glass, but I kind of like the idea of having just a row of orange concrete like this, that just kind of like cements things together. I do quite like that, and I think that I'm going to keep that. A nice orange room, that could be a bedroom or something nice and private. Now, that's the roof of the house, that's the back of the house, and that's a decent amount of the front. But we are lacking a little bit when it comes to the front area of the house. So let's change that. On the front left-hand side of the house, we want to find this corner white concrete block. Place 4 grey concrete coming downwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. You also want to place a row of 4 grey concrete on the wall that is opposite. So, just like this, if you can imagine, that's what you want to end up with. Now, in this gap in between, we actually want to place a row of blue glass inside of the 2 rows of grey concrete, like this. You want to connect them together at the top. And then you want to place a row of orange concrete that fills in the middle part of this, but it does it on the outside of the space, like so. We also want to place the main entrance to the house. Believe it or not, there is actually only supposed to be one actual entrance to the house. So where we have this row of grey concrete right here, we want to place a row of blue glass coming backwards from the row of grey. We then want to take the top block, extend it back by 2, 1, 2, then place a grey concrete and go down by 3, 1, 2, 3. Place glass inside of this, then a grey concrete at the top, place a quartz slab in front of the bottom half of the grey, left and right like that, and that is going to be the main entranceway. Just to further carve out some of the architecture of this, underneath this row of quartz block that we have right here, like we have this row of quartz next to the entrance, place an additional quartz underneath, and you want to extend this additional quartz to the right, and the goal is to connect it to here, if that makes sense. So I'll just do it, and then I'll show you where it's all supposed to connect, because I think it'll be easier. So you just want to extend it and connect it like this. Now, if you place a white concrete block underneath this corner grey concrete, and then extend the white concrete all the way to the right, like this, and then we actually just want to fill in this particular part. We just want to fill it in using white concrete. Because on the front of the house, as you guys might know, it's a very cool feature of the house. There's a pool that's built into the land. And this is just a nice little patio area just leading to the pool. We can then place an entire row of white concrete directly in front of all of that white concrete that we've just placed. And the white concrete can actually come as far as the orange concrete that we have here, and it can just slip underneath it like that. So if you can imagine that's what we want to have. And then we want to create a little platform. So this little platform wants to be somewhere in the middle here. And let's say that it's going to start from here, like this block that's diagonally connected to the grey concrete. Let's place a row of 7 white concrete going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then let's place 2 more rows. 1, 2. Like this. I'm also going to need orange beds, end rods, quartz stairs, red sandstone slabs. I'm going to place a red sandstone slab coming inwards from each corner diagonally, with quartz stairs behind the slabs. I'm going to place in the middle of the beds an end rod, and then another one on top. I then want to place quartz slabs going all the way around the top of the end rods, like this. Then I want to place a quartz slab right on the middle end rod, and I want to place orange beds going all the way around on top of the quartz slabs like that. Like if you literally place them like that, just going around in a loop, then it creates kind of like a cool parasol look. I'm going to place a quartz slab on top of the center again just to raise it up. So you can see that really does fit the theme that we've got going on here. And something else that we can do whilst we are at it, and I do want to make sure that this particular part is right. So we're going to grab the blue stained glass blocks, and we want to place a row of blue stained glass that connects diagonally from this pillar of quartz, and it wants to connect diagonally to this particular pillar of quartz, like that. And then we're going to connect upwards using our blue glass. And we want to have just 2 rows of blue glass stacked on top of this. And this is as high as the blue glass has to be placed, like that. And we can even go as far as to extending the blue glass across the front, because it does have to be placed here. We do want to have 3 rows of blue glass like here, just sandwiched in between the quartz slabs like this. And I'm just going to extend the the blue glass backwards until it will just cover up all of the empty gaps, just like that, if that makes sense. Now, once you've done that, you'll notice that towards the step area here, we're probably going to want to cover this up a bit. So I'm going to place a couple of rows of block of quartz like this, just to kind of like dampen this a bit. I'm also going to want to be able to access these stairs here, so that means placing a row of stairs in this position and in this position. So something like that. I also want to place a row of jungle leaves that goes all the way around the blue glass that we have here, like at the bottom, to give us this sort of effect. So we're not doing too badly with this. It looks quite good so far. Where we have this row of 3 that kind of like leads us up these steps, like where our like bathing areas and where our lounging areas and even the entrance of the house, I want to completely cover all of this in using stone slabs as well, because I think that that'll look quite good. It contrasts nicely against everything else that we have so far. That's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. I mean, this is pretty good, right? It's not looking too bad. What we also want to do is, around the platform and underneath the house and stuff, we're going to have to connect it down to the ground. The reason being is the pool is actually, it's got water in it. I mean, that's sort of the point of the pool. So we need to cover up all of this space just so that does the platform come out too far? Nah, the platform's fine, actually. I don't think it comes out too far. So what we want to do is we want to basically connect this down to the ground, just so that we don't have any water going anywhere that it shouldn't. This is actually a perfect opportunity. If you did want to use, say, like blue glass underneath this part, then you'd actually, like, if you use like blue glass here, you could have like an underwater like bar area or something really cool just like next to the pool, just so that you could watch people swim around and stuff. But that'd actually be really, really awesome. I'd actually kind of like that. So we're coming to the end of this house now, and what we do have to do next is we do have to actually finish off the house portion, because it's not 100% completely finished yet. So this area here, like in the middle, has to be finished off, and the way that we do this is actually very simple. So if we grab our grey concrete and our glass, and we want to actually, in this position right here, like coming back diagonally from this quartz slab, we want to place a grey concrete, and we want to go down from it by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then we want to place... Now you see, here's the thing here. Here's the thing. So we could do with like placing a row of block of quartz here, right? Just like in front of this, and then here to connect things together a little bit, because we're like setting up some boundaries right now. It's kind of like what we're doing. So if you run a row of block of quartz from here, this sticky down bit connects diagonally to the grey, and then connects back to the house. And then if we place a row of grey concrete inside of this, like that, just sat underneath where the glass is going to be, and just inside of the quartz, and maybe even a little bit here as well. So if this makes sense, we want to have something which should look like that so far. And then we can place some blue stained glass pane on top of the grey concrete, and we just want to fill in any gaps that we would otherwise have. So it's quite a long window area, and it doesn't have anything to connect to. You're also going to have to place like a row of grey here, like this, and you can connect the glass up to the white concrete. That won't actually be a problem at all. So just place that. There we go. And then here, it'll actually make the glass look a little bit longer, and it'll make the rooms look a little bit bigger. The glass kind of like sinking into the quartz, like that. Actually looks alright to me. I quite like that. So that's that particular area filled in, alright? Now, the only area left is this area on the right. So if you take this row of block of quartz here that is connected together using some blue glass pane, take this row of block of quartz, extend it forwards, and connect it to the back row of orange concrete. So extend it forwards, connect it to the back row of orange concrete. We're also going to fill in 2 rows above it, and then that'll give a nice sort of depth effect. Like if we have a look at it from the front, then we get a nice sort of depth effect like this. That looks pretty good if I do say so. We also want to place some glass pane here, like in this position, connecting the quartz blocks together. We also want to place a row of glass pane here, connecting the right hand side together completely, so something like that. We also want to have glass going from this quartz block here, all the way around the top of the pool area. And it wants to move through the block of quartz and come all the way around the side like this. Just like that. That's looking pretty decent. We also want to place, it might benefit us a little bit to place like some block of quartz underneath the window area here. So like on the right hand side of the house, like we might just want to place like some block of quartz like just coming down to further define like the areas that we want to have like inside the house and outside of the house. So you might want to place like a row coming downwards like that. I also want to extend this row of block of quartz here. I want to extend it here, and I want to connect it to here, if that makes sense. So like now we get to walk all the way up here, and I'm going to fill the top of this in with white concrete. And I think I'll destroy this row of block of quartz that we have there. Maybe I connected it to the wrong side. There we go. So like now we actually have a nice pathway that we can go from one side to the other, just like that. God, this house is looking really insane at the moment. I love this house so much. And I'm also going to use some lime terracotta to completely fill in this area of the house. So what I mean by this area of the house, I mean like all of the big empty space, I want it filled in with grass. Now, if you do like regular grass, then that's up to you, but I like lime terracotta, especially when applied to like modern houses, cartoon builds, stuff that isn't like supposed to be 100% like real life stuff. But I do also very much like it as just like regular like grass. I like the color a little bit better, and I like the fact that it's a little bit smoother. It looks as though like it's been nice and mowed. So something like that would look good. And we can even extend the lime concrete. It's not lime concrete, is it? It's lime terracotta. We can extend it here, coming all the way towards the back like this. So just to make it look a tad more green. That's looking good. And it also makes the back part pop as well. I really like how that looks actually. Now, if we have a look at the house from this position, the only thing that is left is to place some water in the pool. Now, if you want, you can dig out the base of the pool and you can place a different material in there. And by different material, I of course mean like you might want to place like white concrete, block of quartz, maybe even something dark, like maybe you want to use like blue concrete. Now, I might do that off recording myself, but I'm not going to do it on recording because it will take a while. But something like that might look good if you like put in the base of the pool, like if you did actually place like I said, like some dark blue might actually look good, because then it will really pop against the blue. It'll pop against the white, I'm sorry, like if you have a look down in the pool, like you can see the grass underneath it. It does look a little bit sloppy, but that could easily be fixed by, like I said, placing either white, blue, something like that. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the house so far, right? That's the house almost done. It's like 99.9% done. But what I would like to do before I lead out, guys, before I end this video, I would very much like to get rid of the numbers around the house. I would like to fill in the bottom of the pool, and I would also maybe like to fill in the glass areas inside the house with maybe like blue concrete, just to make the windows pop a little bit more. So let me do all those things, and then I'll be back. But this is the tutorial completely pretty much finished, ladies and gentlemen. There's really nothing else for you to do other than like maybe fill in the base of the pool. Give me a moment, let me show you what it looks like. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I think that I've made it look a little bit better. So what I've done here, I've only done two things, honestly. So I filled in the bottom of the pool using blue concrete, the dark blue concrete, because it really does mix well with the water very nicely. And now the water's very, very blue at the bottom. I really like how that looks. But I've also placed blue concrete behind all of the windows to make those pop a little bit more as well. So now we have a very nice, very distinct, very colourful mansion. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. I honestly would. If you like the video, it helps me out so much. Subscribe to the channel if you would like to check out more of my stuff, and click the little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you get all of my stuff sent directly to your sub box. That's the nice little secret tip that I can give you. If you would like to see more stuff by me, you might be able to see that we do actually have a couple more modern mansions in this particular part of my world. That one has a very similar color scheme to the one that I've just made, by the way, although that one that's kind of my favorite out of those two. But we do have a few of those, and we have a little bit of this and that. And the point that have a look over there, the point of the matter is, if you guys want to make more stuff by me, check out the card system and the description below. I'll do my best to include playlists and videos that I think that you guys will really enjoy. That's the card system and description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. I appreciate every single one of you so much, especially those of you with the notifications turned on, those of you that like the videos day in, day out, those of you that leave comments. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.